Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to let you know the judge is running about 10 minutes late. Estela?
Yes.
The only person I wasn't able to email was that Debbie Villarreal because I didn't have her.
Yeah, I talked to her.
Okay. That was the only one I didn't have info for, so I just want to make sure.
You know what? She might be going into
In person?
Yes.
Okay.
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 Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Bye. Cindy.
Go ahead. Yes, Estela?
Can you give Christine Cortez the Zoom information, please?
Yes.
Mr. Canales,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have your client there with you? Oh,
Yes,
he's gonna
yes,
log.
ma'am.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Miss Brenda. Good morning, Miss Solis.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning.
Mr. Canales.
Good morning, ma'am. Should I? And I was gonna make a joke, but I better not. Aquí le compramos un gallo ahora.
Gallo, ahorita le.
No, no, cállate, no digas nada. Mejor me caigo en la boca. Be quiet. Miss Brenda, you want to swear him in?
Yes, Mr. Canales.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay. He's right here next to me.
Okay. Mr. Adrian George Juarez,
Yes, ma'am.
did your attorney explain this paperwork to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for your attorney?
No, ma'am.
Is this your signature
Yes, ma'am.
for case number 2020 DCR 2181?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this your signature
Yes, ma'am.
for case number 2020 DCR 1993? Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The 357th District Court will call its court into session for today, Friday, February the 18th, 2022 at 8 o'clock in the morning. Starting with 2019 DCL 5907, Patricia Rodriguez, Duncan Schaffner Land.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Francis, the plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jason Mann on behalf of the defendant.
Is this a jury trial?
We didn't ask for a jury trial.
Okay.
Judge.
We
All right.
have not either.
All right. So you guys ready?
I'm
Your
not
Honor,
ready, Your Honor.
What's that?
I said I am not ready for Monday. I basically this one witness, Leanne Hewitt, who this is a foreclosure case. She's the one that foreclosed, the attorney that foreclosed, and I would need her. And it's my understanding from her staff that she's been out of the country, and so I have not been able to advise her of this hearing. The date. I'm actually not quite sure why it got set this date either, because this was the 1 week where I said I was unavailable. This February 21st to 28th. The 1 week I said I was unavailable.
All right. Well, Mr. Orozco.
well, Your Honor, we're ready, but we do also need to mediate the case. We tried to meet with the scheduling order required us to mediate with Gilberto Hinojosa. We tried to set something up in February, and he literally had 1 day available in February, and that didn't work.
It sounds to me that all the equities in favor of continuing this case fall on your side, in light of the fact that we set it on a date when Mr. Mann specifically told us that he was not available. That wasn't a cruel, video for us, Mr. Mann. We apologize for that. I don't think we intentionally did that. So, when do y'all think you can try this case?
Your Honor, I'm honestly ready to try the case at any moment, but I do have a baby that I'm going to be welcoming in about 30 days. About a month.
Congratulations, Mr.
Let's do it after that. He'll be real tired.
All I would ask is anytime after April, just some time to spend with my wife, because she was not happy the first baby.
How about May? Mr. Mann, are you ready? Available in May?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm looking at my calendar really quick. Yes. I have plenty of availability in May.
All right.
Same.
Ms. Solis, are you handling the dates, or is I don't see Ms. Salas on the screen.
Right here, Judge.
Okay.
Available in May, I have the 16th of May.
That will work.
That works, Your Honor.
For sure.
May 16th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you both.
Thank
Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you. Could we be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
2021 DCL 3413, Ortiz, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Gonzalez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Morning. What are we doing with this one?
We are set for, good morning, Ms. Cortez.
Good
What are
morning,
we
sir.
doing with this one?
We are set for announcements this morning, Your Honor, and we are set. Mr. Gonzalez's client has requested a jury trial. I don't know where Cameron County is on jury trials right now. I know that y'all had a meeting maybe earlier this week.
I'm fixing to enlighten you on that.
Thank you.
Yes, we did meet on earlier on Tuesday this week, and we've concluded that we're going to crank them back up in March. The only available dates in March that will have juries, and there will be 1 week juries, are March the 7th or March the 21st.
Judge, I was thinking more the month of May, Judge. In March and April, I'm booked with mediations, Judge. I don't think I'm available on that day on either the month of March or April, Judge.
Okay.
You mean May or April?
Is April good for you, or March? I mean,
Let me look.
Judge, I would ask the court respectfully if the court consider giving us a May date for jury trial.
I will. I don't have any issue with that. As long as Ms. Taylor gives me a good reason why we can't set it in May, I'll hear her out.
I'm looking, Judge. Give me just one
All right.
second. Oh, wow.
That's all that is.
Judge, I already have 2 jury trials set for May. Is there any way we could do it in like the middle of April?
I don't
Mr.
know.
Gonzalez?
You want to do it on my birthday?
When is your birthday, Judge? When are you gonna be 30?
I'm always available for celebration, divorce trial, okay? So,
April's not a good month for me to judge.
well, let's do it on my birthday, June. I say my birthday because the whole month of June is my birthday, in case anybody is inquiring.
Also mine, Judge. Also, whole month of
Mine.
June is my birthday too.
So I have,
Also mine.
I have a motley crew with me, so
I could do the very first week of May, Your Honor.
I'd ask for May, Judge. June, summers kick in and
well, the very
vacation.
first week is May 7th.
May 7th falls on
May 2nd.
on a Saturday.
If you want a jury, wait a minute, what did I say? March, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, May 2nd, May 7th, what is it?
May 2nd would be best for me because I already have one on May 7th.
Mr. Gonzalez?
I have a trial in County Court number 4, which probably will not go, Judge, but what about the week of May the 8th or May 9th?
I have a jury trial May 9th.
Okay,
Yes, sir,
here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Hold on, because I need to get going. I have a meeting in Harlingen that I need to get going to. So here's what I'm gonna do. You all confer together based on your schedules, and you get back to Ms. Salas on a date in May.
Yes, Judge.
Or further down the line, but not backwards. May, come on, okay?
What about
So-
May 16th?
And get it to all 3 of your schedules, okay? All right, Ms. Salas, be aware that maybe you want to say the DCC for them.
Why
so
don't we set our DCC for March the 1st?
March the 1st, get a DCC with Ms. Salas at what time, Ms. Salas?
10:30.
At 10:30. That way you all can advise her what did you come up with. And if you're unable to come up with, I will settle it for you.
I understand, Judge.
All right,
March the 1st at 10:30 for DCC, Judge. We're good.
right, okay. You all have a good morning. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Judge.
Judge. You too.
Judge,
Bye.
have a good day, Judge.
2020 DCL 4373, Oscar Daniel Acuña Cervantes, Ramiro Mata.
Good morning, Your Honor. Leti Garza for Jorge Ray.
Mr. Skaggs. Morning, Mr.
Okay,
Skaggs.
Your Honor. Toby Skaggs for Ramiro Mata Jr.
Good morning,
And
Mr.
Nick
Skaggs.
Denzer. Good morning, Nick Denzer for defendant Alfred Gracia.
Okay.
And Cesar de Leon is the ad litem, Your Honor, for the
Is this
3
a
minor
friendly
children.
This is a friendly suit, Your Honor. My client is logged in, Mr. Acuña. We do need an interpreter, though.
All right. Well, I don't know if he's on the screen. Is he on the screen, Cindy?
Yes, yes.
here, Your Honor.
Oh, there you are. All right. Let me do this. Let me get rid of this other 2 so I can give you enough time to do that. 2020 DCL 3821, Peachtree Settlement Funding, Julie Evans or whoever. Ms. Salas, I never got any information on this, or did I?
Yes, you should have, Your Honors. Dwayne West for the Movement SG Information Systems.
Did I?
Filed a motion to unseal. This is a structured settlement transfer that the court had previously approved, and the parties asked to seal the order. And under 141.006, the Texas Civil Practices and Remedies Code, after 6 months from the date the order was signed, anyone may make a motion to unseal the unredacted order and make it part of the public record. And the language in the statute is shall unseal, so it's pretty much mandatory, and that's what we're asking for.
What? So is this is so it's mandatory. I cannot look behind the request, and for what reason you want to unseal it? Is that your understanding of the statute? That it's mandatory on me upon request, written request?
Yes, upon request of any person, including a member of the general public, it shall be unsealed.
Well, then,
And I am a licensed attorney in Texas.
well, that's the case, then it'll be granted.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right, take care. 2021 DCL 6481, Camelot Garden Homes at Debbie Villarreal.
She's in the courtroom, Judge. Ms. Villarreal.
All right. What do
Good
we?
morning, Your Honor. Gene McCullough here on behalf of Camelot. I've got my client representative here also, Bruce Bergamy. He's prepared to be sworn.
All right.
Raise your right hand and unmute yourself, Mr. Bergamy. And you need to unmute yourself. Okay. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down.
All right, proceed.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Bruce Bergamy.
Mr. Bergamy, what is your role vis-a-vis Camelot Garden Homes LLC?
I am manager of the LLC and executive director is my official position with the company.
Okay. And are you in charge of providing notice of assessments for Camelot Garden Homes?
Yes.
And is there a declaration of covenants recorded of record authorizing you to assess maintenance fees against the homeowners out there?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we submitted that to the court. I can introduce it into evidence, but it is a record. I would advise the court that that document, the original, was filed in volume 6752, page 134 of the official records of Cameron County, Texas. If the court needs me to introduce it into evidence, be happy to do it.
Well, and when you submitted a copy already, as part of what? As part of
He filed it as part of this court, as part of this case, Your Honor.
Part of your petition?
Not as part of my petition, but as an exhibit to the file.
All right, well, the court will take judicial notice of all documents on file.
Great. We submitted some other documents that I'm going to talk with Mr. Bergamy about in just a moment.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Mr. Bergamy, did you also provide written notice to the defendant, Debbie Villarreal, of the assessments as they came due?
Yes.
And is it your habit to do so each month?
Yes. Each resident receives a statement every month.
And was she provided an opportunity to cure those assessments or pay them each month as they came due?
Yes.
And is her address, as far as you believe, 1000 Camelot Drive, number 6078?
Yes.
Is that also the address of the property?
Property is 1000 Camelot Drive, and we get our mail, company mail at the lodge.
All right.
The
And
office.
do you believe that the notices were actually received by her?
Yes, we received no return mail from the mailman from her.
And you've actually had some communication either with her or her family about these assessments, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And as of February 10th, 2022, and I believe you actually sent this assessment out to her, but we filed it with the court and you provided to us, there was a accrued balance of 486561. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, this is the most current balance as of this month, but we would ask the court to, the court's already taken judicial notice, but we would ask the court to note that we did send out through Mr. Ben Guerra, prior counsel, a demand for payment, and Ms. Villarreal was given an opportunity to cure that before we filed suit. And there has been no cure, and that we attach that to our petition as an exhibit. And the delinquency remains uncured. As the court is aware, this is a precursor to proceeding with a non-judicial foreclosure. Since this is an HOA, the court has to serve as a gatekeeper pursuant to Section 209 of the Texas Property Code. And we would ask the court to authorize us to go forward with the next step and give notice pursuant to Chapter 51 or 52, whichever it is, of the Texas Property Code of our intent to foreclose on the property.
52.
52.
Yes. All right, Ms. Villarreal.
Yes, sir.
They're asking me to authorize foreclosure. Do you have anything to say about the balance that is owed and has been owing to the? Are you disputing the balance that they're saying that you owe them?
I can't pay it right now. I don't have any money.
What is that? Well, I didn't hear you. Can you do me a favor and take off your mask? I can't hear you through your mask. What did you tell me?
I cannot pay $4,000 right now because I don't have any money.
Okay. Well, I'm
And
sorry.
the property's worth more than $4,000.
I'm sure it is. And that's why it's not that's why I try to give as much opportunity for you to see if you could settle these things with the homeowners association. And apparently you have not been able to. This was a request that was made to me some time ago. And I have reset it a couple of times for your benefit, but obviously that has not helped. So the court does not have any other choice. They have a right to do what they're doing. And so the court's going to go ahead and grant them the right for an expedited order to proceed with foreclosures. Maybe down the line, you can be somehow or another, be able to resolve these differences with them, but I can't delay this request any longer. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
All right. You'll be granted, Mr. Mann.
McCullough, Your Honor, but
Sorry.
Your Honor, I don't know whether we submitted an order. If we haven't, we will.
I will look at my file, but we'll let you know if we don't, there's an order. Let me look right now because I'm sure you've been waiting for this.
Okay, like I said, we'll make sure there's an order in the file if there's not one.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's get back to Cervantes Mata. Who's going to ask the questions and is the witness swearing in the witness?
I can, Your Honor. I can prove it up. But just before we get started, Mr. Denzer, your carrier is not requesting a friendly suit, right? It's only Mr. Skaggs?
Correct. I actually didn't have this on my calendar. I rushed over, but I just was going to be present. But yes, we didn't request a friendly suit.
Okay,
Judge.
perfect. I can prove it up. I've got it all ready.
All right, let's go.
Mr. Acuna, unmute yourself and raise your right hand.
Acuña, por favor, póngalo en voz y levante su mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Usted jura que el testimonio que va a llevar a cabo va a ser la verdad y solamente la verdad? ¿Lo jura usted por Dios?
Sí.
Yes.
Put your hand up.
Baje su mano.
All right. Can you please state your name for the record?
¿Puede decir su nombre, por favor, para que quede levantado en actas?
Oscar Daniel Acuña Cervantes.
Oscar Daniel Acuña Cervantes.
All right, Mr. Acuña. You are acting as the next friend of Charlie, Matthew, and Oscar today, correct?
Usted, señor Cervantes, está actuando como representante informal del señor. Who? What was the name?
The minors are Charlie, Matthew, and Oscar.
De Charlie, Matthew y Oscar. Son los menores.
Sí.
Yes.
And on March 18th of 2020, the children were involved in a car wreck that you all had. Is that correct?
Y el 18 de marzo del 2020, los niños estuvieron involucrados en un accidente automovilístico que tuvieron ustedes, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And as a result of that wreck, Charlie and Matthew sustained some injuries.
A raíz de ese accidente, Charlie y Matthew sostuvieron algunas lastimaduras, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And they received some medical treatment for those injuries, correct?
Y por esas lastimaduras recibieron tratamiento médico, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand, Mr. Acuña, that those medical providers need to get paid back, right?
Y señora Acuña, usted entiende perfectamente bien que esas personas que proporcionaron estos servicios médicos se les tiene que pagar, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
And as of today, all three children are fully recovered, right?
Y así como el día de hoy, ya los niños están completamente recuperados, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
And Mr. Acuña, you've agreed to settle their claims on their behalf, right?
Y señora Acuña, usted está de acuerdo de llevar a cabo un arreglo a favor de ellos, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that you're giving up their right to a trial by judge or jury, correct?
Y usted entiende perfectamente bien que está renunciando usted al derecho que ellos tienen a tener un juicio con jurado o ya sea ante el juez, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that a jury could award more or a jury could award less in this matter?
Ahora, también usted entiende perfectamente bien que en este caso un jurado a lo mejor puede otorgar más o menos, ¿correcto?
Sí, claro.
Yes, of course.
And Mr. Acuña, you understand that the defendant Mata and his carrier have offered to settle his claim for $2,750 to fully and finally settle this matter for Charlie, correct?
Y usted entiende perfectamente bien, señora Acuña, que el señor Mata y sus representantes están de acuerdo de arreglar este caso para Charlie.
Yes, we're going to go through all three. So Charlie
Para,
first.
para arreglar el caso para Charlie en la cantidad de $2,750 y ya queda como cantidad final, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that after a reduction, $828.92 of that will be used to pay for attorney's fees.
Y usted sabe perfectamente bien que se va a reducir la cantidad de $828.92 para honorarios de abogado, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And Mr. Acuña, you understand that $624 of that settlement amount will be used to pay the medical provider.
Y $624, señor, se va a utilizar para pagar a quien proporcionó el servicio médico, ¿correcto?
Sí, claro.
Yes, of course.
And you understand that $464.14 of that will be used to pay expenses associated with bringing about Charlie's case.
Y también entiende usted perfectamente bien, señor, que la cantidad de $464.14 se va a utilizar para cubrir los gastos que se incurrieron para llevar a cabo el caso de Charlie, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And Mr. Acuña, you understand that the remaining balance of $832.94 is what would be for the benefit of Charlie.
Y usted entiende perfectamente bien, señor Acuña, que la cantidad de $832.94 es lo que va a recibir Charlie, ¿correcto?
Disculpe la pregunta otra vez.
Excuse me, the question again?
Sure. Mr. Acuña, you understand that the remaining balance for the benefit of Charlie is $832.94, correct?
Señor Acuña, usted entiende perfectamente bien que el saldo restante por la cantidad de $832.94 es la cantidad que ya va a recibir Charlie, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that the settlement is all he is going to get out of this incident and that he will have no further right to go after the defendant?
Y también usted sabe perfectamente bien, señor Acuña, que esta es la cantidad que Charlie va a recibir y solamente va a ser esta cantidad y ya no va a recibir absolutamente nada de parte del demandado, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you believe it's in the best interest of Charlie to settle this matter?
¿Y usted cree que es para el mejor interés y beneficio de Charlie arreglar este caso?
Sí.
Yes.
And understanding everything I've told you, you're still asking the court to approve Charlie's settlement, right?
Y después de haber escuchado todo lo que yo ya le expliqué y mencioné, usted está solicitando que aquí el señor juez acepte y autorice este acuerdo a favor de Charlie?
Sí.
Yes.
And when it comes to Matthew, the defendant Mata and his carrier have offered the same amount, $2,750 to fully and finally settle that matter for Matthew. You understand that, correct?
Y en lo que se refiere a Matthew, también el mismo demandado, así como sus representantes, están ofreciendo la misma cantidad de $2,750 para arreglar este caso, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that after a reduction, $828.92 of that amount will be used to pay for attorney's fees.
Y también entiende usted perfectamente bien, señor, que la cantidad de $828.92 va a ser la cantidad que se va a utilizar y se va a reducir para pagar los honorarios de abogado, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that $624 of that will be used to pay for his medical provider?
También entiende usted perfectamente bien, señor, que la cantidad de $624 se va a utilizar para pagar a quien proporcionó los servicios médicos, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that $464.14 of that will be used to pay expenses associated with bringing about his case.
Y también entiende usted, señor, que $464.14 también se van a utilizar para llevar a cabo todos los gastos en los que se incurrió para llevar a cabo este caso, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that the remaining balance of $832.94 is what would be of benefit to Matthew, correct?
Y también entiende usted perfectamente bien, señor, que la cantidad del saldo de lo que quedó del restante es 832.94 y es la cantidad que va a recibir Matthew, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that this is all he is going to get out of this incident and that Matthew will have no further right to go after Mr. Mata or his carrier?
Y también entiende usted perfectamente bien, señor, que esta es la única cantidad que va a recibir Matthew y ya no va a tener ningún derecho de irse en contra de del demandado, así como los representantes de él.
Sí, sí entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
And Mr. Acuña, you believe that it is in the best interest of Matthew to settle this matter, correct?
Y también, señor, usted cree y piensa que esto es para el mejor interés de Matthew, ¿verdad? Arreglar este caso.
Sí, sí.
Yes, yes.
And understanding everything I've told you regarding Matthew, you are still asking the court to approve Matthew's settlement, correct?
Y después de todo lo que yo le dije en lo que se refiere al caso de Matthew, como quiera está usted solicitando que se autorice este acuerdo, ¿correcto?
Claro.
Of course.
And when it comes to Oscar Jr., the defendant, Mata and his carrier have offered the sum of $500 to fully and finally settle that matter for Oscar. You understand that, right?
También entiende usted ya en lo que se refiere a Oscar, Jr., el demandado Mata y sus representantes están ofreciendo la cantidad de $500 para arreglar el caso de Oscar. ¿Entiende usted?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that $200 of that amount will be used to pay for attorney's fees?
Y $200 entiende usted que se van a usar para pagar los honorarios de abogado, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And Oscar Jr. did not have any medical treatment, correct?
Y Oscar Jr. no recibió absolutamente ningún tipo de tratamiento médico, ¿correcto?
No.
No.
So you understand that the remaining $300 is what would be of benefit to Oscar Jr., correct?
Y entiende usted que lo que le queda ya a Oscar Jr. viene siendo la cantidad de $300, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that this settlement is all he is going to get out of this incident and that he will have no further right to go after Mr. Mata or his carrier?
Y entiende usted perfectamente bien que esta es la única cantidad que va a recibir Oscar Jr. en relación a este caso y no va a tener ningún derecho para después presentar alguna demanda o algo en contra del señor Mata y sus representantes. ¿Entiende usted?
Sí, claro.
Yes, of course.
And you believe it's in the best interest of Oscar Jr. to settle this matter, correct?
¿Y cree usted que es para el mejor interés de Oscar Jr. arreglar este caso?
Sí.
Yes.
And understanding everything I have told you today, you are still asking the court to approve this settlement, correct?
Y después de haberle yo explicado todo lo que le dije, usted está solicitando todavía la autorización de parte de este juzgado para llevar a cabo este arreglo, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Your Honor, those are all the questions I have. The amounts netting to the minors are, these settlements were pretty insignificant amounts, and we'd ask that instead of putting them into the registry of the court, if the court would be inclined to release the money to Mr. Acuña for the benefit of the children now.
Señoría, ahorita en este momento estamos solicitando que ya después de haber leído todo lo que se leyó y se dijo, las cantidades, estamos solicitando que como son cantidades medio insignificantes, entonces, pues no meterlas en el registro el registro del juzgado, sino que directamente entregárselos.
Sí.
Yes.
I passed the witness. Your Honor.
Anybody else? have
Paso el
any-
testigo.
Let's go. Whoever has follow-up questions.
¿Quién
Your
sigue?
Honor, I
That,
just
that
have-
was a pretty thorough, friendly seat, elocution, so keep it relevant. Whoever's next.
Mr. Skaggs. Your Honor, I'll just, if I can ask just a question or two.
Sure.
Si puedo hacer alguna o dos preguntas, por favor.
Mande, disculpe.
No, no fue usted. Estoy interpretando lo que dijo el abogado.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Mata, I'm sorry, Mr. Acuna, you understand that by entering into this settlement, it's not an admission of fault or responsibility by Ramiro Mata. You understand that?
Señora Acuña, usted entiende perfectamente bien que llevando a cabo este arreglo no es ninguna aceptación de culpabilidad por parte de Ramiro Mata, ¿verdad?
No entiendo la pregunta.
I don't understand the question.
Okay. Let me ask it again. You understand that by entering into this settlement, it's not an admission of fault or responsibility by Mr. Mata, the driver of the 18-wheeler.
Entiende usted perfectamente bien, señor, que por el simple hecho de que el señor Mata, o sea, la persona demandada, en este caso, el chofer que estaba manejando el tráiler o el tractor tráiler, no es ninguna aceptación de culpabilidad al llevar a cabo y ejecutar este acuerdo. ¿Entiende usted esto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that Mr. Mata continues to deny any responsibility for this accident, correct?
Y entiende usted perfectamente bien que el señor Mata continúa negando su responsabilidad de sus acciones, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
And that this settlement is being made to avoid the uncertainties of trial.
Y estos acuerdos o este acuerdo se está llevando a cabo más que nada para evitar cualquier tipo de incertidumbre o algo que se pueda llevar a cabo en juicio, ¿correcto?
Correcto.
Correct.
Okay, that's three questions, Mr. Skaggs. You said two.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else?
Mr. Acuña, good morning, sir. César de León.
Señor Acuña, muy buenos días. César de León.
We met yesterday, Mr. Acuña, via Zoom.
Vía Zoom ayer, señor Acuña, nos conocimos.
Sí.
Yes.
And we discussed the accident.
Y platicamos sobre el accidente.
Sí.
Yes.
We evaluated the damages or the awards your children would receive.
Evaluamos los daños y también las cantidades que iban a recibir sus hijos.
Sí.
Yes.
And we discussed the adequacy of the settlement.
Y platicamos de lo adecuado del acuerdo, del arreglo.
Sí.
Yes.
And the reasonableness of your attorney's fees for the minors.
Y lo razonable que sus honorarios de abogado por parte, por representar a sus hijos eran, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Are those counsel, Mr. De Leon, are those consistent with the limitations based on by recovery for minors?
Judge, they.
I will not approve it unless it sticks to that probate section where they're only entitled to 1/3. That's been my standing rule.
I understand, Judge, and I believe.
Is that the case?
Yes, Judge. Once the lawyer goes down to the pro rata, if you look at the breakdowns, first it shows.
I will take on whatever you tell me as long as that's being applied, the limitation. And if you tell me that's being applied, then proceed. No problem.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
And they were taken at a pro rata from Mr. Green's law firm, so they did reduce those fees.
Okay. All right.
And after discussion of that, we decided that it was in the best interest of your children.
Después de que tuvimos esa plática en relación a este caso, sí vimos que era lo mejor para sus hijos, ¿correcto?
Pues sí.
Well, yes.
And are you asking the court to approve the settlement at this time?
Ahorita en este momento le está solicitando usted aquí al señor juez que autorice este acuerdo, este arreglo.
Sí.
Yes.
And finally, sir, you and I discussed that these amounts, you would ask the court if you could receive these amounts for your children and for some of the present needs they have.
Y también después de lo que platicamos y todo, usted le quiere solicitar aquí al señor juez que si estas cantidades se le pueden otorgar a usted para beneficio de sus hijos de ciertas necesidades que tienen ahorita, ¿correcto?
Sí, claro.
Yes, of course.
No further questions, Your Honor. And I did review the settlement, the disbursement amounts, and even though at first it seems that they were at 40%, once they did a pro rata share, there are some that come under the 1/3, Your Honor. There was really no damages. It was a very minor accident. The children didn't even get medical treatment, so we're asking the court to please grant the settlement. And I'm asking for 3 hours of work, Your Honor, at $200. So I'm asking for $600 in ad litem fees.
Is there any issue with that ad litem fee?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, the court will take additional notice of all documents and file in this case. The court, having heard the testimony of the plaintiff as next of friend of the minor children, and also accepting the report of the ad litem, the court hereby approves the settlement as stated on the record and approves the division of the fees as stated on the record. The court will further grant the request by the party to release the funds to the custody of the next of friend, the father, for use and benefit of the children. Anything else? And the
Nothing
court
further.
grants the ad litem fee of $600. Anything else?
No,
Your
Your
Honor,
Honor, I have before the court. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good day, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ya terminó, señora Acuña. Se puede desconectar.
Ok, gracias.
Gracias. All right, Mr. Canales, let's take up your case because I don't, Mr. Salazar. Is Mr.
Yes, I'm
Salazar?
here, Your Honor.
Mr. Salazar, I'm gonna have to impose on you to reset that one because I think I only have time to do this, please, and I have to head to Harlingen. If you can favor me with this, where is your client?
He's right there, Your Honor. It's a Moto G Power.
Okay. Looks like I've given him a lot of opportunities to stay straight on this, so I'm a little disappointed in the reports that I'm reading, but I want to know, is it possible to reset it for either later today or Monday?
I can do Monday, Your Honor.
All right.
Monday's a holiday.
Oh, Monday.
Oh, I can't do Monday, Your Honor. Later today, I'm not sure if my client will be available. I could probably do it.
Can you ask him?
Judge, I cannot do later today. I have a CLE that I'm already late to.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm late too. Well, how about Tuesday?
Tuesday works.
Tuesday works for me.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm in your court on Tuesday, so I'll be here.
Can you confirm with your client? Because I don't want to make sure that, he's working or something and then, I was at work and I'm gonna reset it for Tuesday, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you here Tuesday. I'll take you up first.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. All
Mr.
right.
Canales, your client there, can I swear him in, please?
Yes, of course. He's ready.
Raise your right hand, sir. You solemnly swear from the testimony you will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I'm sorry?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can put your hand up.
This is 2020 DCR 2181, State of Texas, Adrian George Juarez. 2020 DCR 1983, State of Texas, the same Adrian Juarez, also known as Adrian G. Juarez. What is your true and correct name?
Adrian George Juarez.
All right. You're in front of me in this two cases because your attorney tells me you wish to enter certain pleas of guilt to certain charges. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you tell me what are you pleading guilty to?
Evading arrest,
And what else?
possession of a controlled substance.
All right. In the evading arrest matter, do you understand that that is a third-degree felony, I believe, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Janis, is that right? The evading arrest?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. Mr. Juarez, the evading arrest, do you understand that that's in cause number 2020 DCR 2181, and that is a violation of a third-degree felony which calls for confinement in prison for a term of not more than 10 years or less than 2. In addition, I can impose a fine not to exceed $10,000. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
All right. With respect to your possession of controlled substance in cause number 2020 DCR 1993, that is a violation of a second-degree felony which calls for confinement in prison for a term of not more than 20 years or less than 2, and I can impose a fine also of not to exceed $10,000. Are you aware of this?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing this, pleading guilty to those two cases freely and voluntarily, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Canales, it's necessary to rearraign Mr. Juarez in either one of these cases.
No, Your Honor. And we
All right.
also waive the reading the indictment.
All right. Mr. Canales, understanding what you're pleading guilty in cause number 2020 DCR 1993, the possession of a controlled substance. What is your plea to charges of second degree possession of controlled substance? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
All right. Understanding what you're pleading guilty in cause number 2020 DCR 2181. What is your plea to the third degree felony of evading arrest? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
All right. Are you a citizen of the United States, Mr. Juarez?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty in both of these matters because you're in fact guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty in any one of these cases out of any persuasion of fear, hope of pardon, force, threats, or promises of any kind?
No, sir.
All right. Have you ever been in a mental hospital or treated by a doctor for any mental disorders in either one of those cases?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Canales, you find Mr. Juarez competent able to assist in any defense he may have in both of these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. What is the plea agreement with respect? I don't know if I will take this plea agreement. 2 years is not enough. He has got a, what is his record, Mr. Janus?
Judge, it's not quite a record.
Yeah, I suspect it. Mr. Canales, you may have to go back to a drawing board. I will not accept a minimum for second degree possession of a controlled substance, third degree felony, and his record. I cannot do that. I cannot.
Yes, Judge.
Do that.
If I may a little light, might shed some light into this case, Judge. It's an evading arrest, Judge, in one, and the other one's a possession of controlled substance. He fell asleep, Judge, and that's really what happened. He had fallen asleep, Judge, and I got his mom here present to tell you, Judge, that come here, ma'am, please. And the
No, I
mom
don't
will tell
want,
you,
Mr.
Judge.
This is not a punishment hearing, Mr. Canales. I don't want to hear any witnesses right now. I'm giving you my smoke signal that based on his record, this is not a recommendation I can follow. He can get it from a jury. I'll impanel a jury and let 12 people of this community decide whether that's a fair punishment for him. In my view, it's not. I mean, I don't want to hear any testimony. It's not a matter of testimony. It's a matter of, based on his record, he's had a lot of opportunities to run his life correctly, and he continues to violate the law. And frankly, a second degree felony, the minimum, I can't go along with that. So either I reset this so you can have a time to go talk to Mr. Janus or Mr. Aviola and come up with something else. And I will certainly do that. I will not proceed forward on the plea.
Yes, Your Honor. It's just
I will
just
allow
wanted
him
to
an
explain-
opportunity. Mr. Juarez, one of the things that we didn't get to was when there is a recommended sentence like there is in your case, the court has one option. It either can accept it or cannot, because the decision of whether to go along with it or not is totally only up to me. And I've looked at all the charges that have been dismissed against you and the statement made by the prosecutor that you have a record, extensive record of violating the law. So I am rejecting the proposed recommended sentence to me. You can withdraw your plea. I want you to understand that you can withdraw your plea of guilty that you just made to me in both of these cases. And you can proceed to a jury trial. You can go ask 12 people of this community for this type of sentence. I'll let you consult with Mr. Canales, your attorney, and for a moment, and then I'll come back on the screen and you tell me what you want to do. I will let you go either way. Proceed with this on the modified, or allow Mr. Canales an opportunity to explain to you what your options are.
Judge, would the court consider 3 years if the state was to recommend it?
I'm going to order a PSI.
What is that?
It's up, but Judge, if maybe we can plead to the two, and then the judge, we can order a PSI, Judge, and the judge we can go that route. He does have we do accept the fact that he does have a drug problem, Judge. He's had it for a while.
I'm sure he does. But he's been given a lot of opportunities to see see life for what it really is. He's implicating his mother. He's got his mother there. Ella no tiene culpa. Él fue que cometió el mal. He has to face the music.
They were taking care of his father, who just passed away last year.
I understand that. I understand there's a lot of equities, Mr. Canales. You want to
Yes, sir.
proceed with this, and then I'll order a PSI?
But the court says you want me to, I can talk to Mr. Janice really quickly, Judge. Maybe the court could consider something different.
I
And you
think
see-
I think it would be better if I see the whole extent of the record, and you and I and Mr. Janice can sit down. I will be willing to do that.
Okay, Judge? Okay,
Okay.
we can do that.
So let's reset this for Monday.
Judge, if we could do Tuesday, as we don't have.
Oh,
Yeah,
Monday's
it's
a
a holiday.
holiday. Yeah, my staff right away is on those holidays. My court reporter's head is
Yo
almost
también.
falling off. So,
Judge, what I was gonna suggest, if I may we complete today and ask for a PSI. So that way we can finish the plea. and
I'm
then
good with
that's
that, but I'm not gonna go, I'm good with that. Okay. So, Mr. Juarez, get back on the screen. In this two cases, I'm gonna find that you have, the court will not go through the admonishments on the plea. The court will not just say, you understand that it's only up to me whether or not to follow the recommendation, right, Mr. Juarez? You understand that, right?
Sure.
And if I don't follow it, I have given you that option. You can withdraw your plea of guilty and go to a jury trial. I've given you that option. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
But if I go along with this sentence, ultimately at the end, you may not appeal your case without the court's permission, except any pretrial motions Mr. Canales may have filed in either one or both of these cases. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, the court's going to find that his plea of guilty to both cases of freely involuntary made, and he's competent to stand trial after state to produce evidence to substantiate the plea in 2020 DCR 1993, State of Texas versus George Adrian G. Juarez.
State.
Mr. Janice.
At this time, state offers exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence.
And also, we admit it, and also in 2020 DCR 2181.
State.
Judge, state at this time offers exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence.
Any objection?
Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Juarez, can you see me in the screen there, Mr. Juarez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you see the set of documents? There's a set of documents in each one of these cases you just pled guilty on. They're called plea packets. As you now heard, each one of them contained 3 exhibits. Exhibit number 1 in cause number 2020 DCR 1993 is a 8-page document, and on page 6, there's a signature line. Is this in fact your signature, Mr. Juarez?
Yes, sir.
All right. Also, in cause number 2020 DCR 2181, your prepacket consists of 3 exhibits. Exhibit number 1 consists of 8 pages, and there's a signature. Is this your signature in that case?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Juarez, were you aware that when you signed this document and you had it handed to me, you have waived and given up certain constitutional rights? For example, your right to a jury trial, your right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, your right to confront the accusers in open court. Are you aware you have given up those rights in executing these documents?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you further telling me, Mr. Juarez, that you have an informal agreement with the state that exhibits 2 and 3 are true and correct copies of the incident arrest reports, lab reports that were generated as a result of your arrest, the reason you're pleading guilty to me this morning? Is that your agreement?
Yes, sir.
All right. In that case, I'm going to find that you have voluntarily and intelligently waived your constitutional and statutory rights, that the evidence offered by the state does substantiate your plea of guilt. The court accordingly will find you guilty in cause number 2020 DCR 1993 and 2020 DCR 2181. The court will not assess the punishment, until the court receives a pre-sentence investigation in this case on Mr. Juarez. To be ready by
March 18th.
March 18th, Mr. Canales.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have your
Now,
client,
Judge,
have your client cooperate, and in the meantime, you and Mr. Jazz, Mr. Ariola can make an appointment to come and see me, and I'll be more than glad to meet with you over this matter, okay?
Judge, and if I may, Judge, just for the mom, because I can see the mom about to have a heart attack here in front of me, Judge.
What?
Just for the record, and for my client's mom, because she's very scary in front of me right now. If the court doesn't follow the police,
She's not going anywhere. He is. If he goes anywhere, he's going. She's not going anywhere.
Judge, it's a mom, she's a mom, Judge.
I understand
And all
that. but I want her to remain calm. I don't think that this is a matter for her to get sick. This needs to be done fairly and honestly and forthright. And
Yes, Judge.
we gotta get somewhere. Mr. Juarez, I don't know, how old are you?
39, sir.
He's
39.
40 years old, Mr. Canales.
Yes, Judge. All I was gonna say that in case that the court doesn't follow the agreement on March the 18th, you allow him to withdraw his plea of guilty and then we can proceed. And
That's one of his fundamental rights that I read it. Yes,
I know, just wanted the mom to hear it,
yes,
Judge. So,
definitely. I will
and I
allow
will,
him, I will allow him the opportunity to withdraw it. Yes, take it back.
and I'll find out time so we can go talk to you, me, and
Yeah,
Mr. Arriola, Judge.
I have no issue with that. We'll see you on the
Yes,
18th.
Judge.
Very
Your
nice.
Honor,
Yes.
excuse me, Your Honor. Your Honor, Rolando without probation, may I have the defendant's phone number?
Mr. Juarez,
Yes, sir.
take off your mask, please.
What's your phone number?
What is your phone number? And take off your
Hey,
mask and don't breathe over Mr. Canales.
873-4522.
873-45,
22.
I'm sorry?
4522.
Thank you. You should be receiving a call from adult probation.
Mr. Juarez, make yourself available for the report that I want.
Yes, sir.
Judge, and I'll find some time, then I'll ask Stella or Norma to allow so we can meet Mr. Arriola
Yes.
que go speak to